versions. I've studied with 3 or 4 different Ghanaian teachers. There are similarities, but they've all got slightly different variations on that.
Yeah, just
And there's lots of Panlogo songs.
yeah, just like there's lots of merengue songs and lots of
There's variations all over. Even within Accra, you'll find in different quarters, because the Panlogo, when it first came out, was kind of like a celebrating independence, and it actually was banned for a while. It got a little bit too kind of like, you know, some of the words were not very nice about the, you know, so it went underground then and exploded. So there are all sorts of, and you know, when you look at like rap battles in the modern culture, there used to be kind of like Panlogo contests. People would show up and everybody would do their version, and one part of the town's version was more exciting and more interesting than the other. So it's always had a kind of fluid, movable, and in terms of the history of West African music, it's a very new rhythm. It only started appearing in the late 50s, early 60s.
Exactly.
yeah.
So it was part of that whole breakout of independence. And you know, the Panlogo drum didn't exist before then. They played atumpamas, and the Panlogo itself, they had the drums that were shaped like a Panlogo, but then went narrow at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a relatively new thing, but they're really accessible rhythms. And I've taken out lots of stuff to make that an accessible piece that you can teach to people that don't have. You know, because if I was putting all the slaps and the touches and the different, then people are in student crisis mode and they go,
you turn it into a drum class.
you turn it into a drum class and it doesn't work. But the basic patterns, they're locked together, and what's nice about that is the dialogue that it sets up. And it starts to open your ears, and when you start to listen to the fact that there's a dialogue across the circle, that's why the facilitation part works really well, because you can show, hey look, all those dialogues that we set up in the beginning, they're still happening in some form. People are still having a conversation. And for me, the most amazing thing about the drum circle is when people go from playing a part to starting to listen to the dialogue that they're playing with somebody else. When you start noticing...
Connection, yeah.
Yeah, and there's all sorts of games. I play the 1 to 8 game to help people to listen. You know, you get to play 1 beat in a cycle of 8, and you get these amazing little songs.
We'll do that.
And so, I think dialogue is the most important thing, and conversation and communication. My company is called Rhythm Bridge, and it's all about creating bridges. It's like bridges between me and you, bridges between this culture and that culture, bridges between one town and another town. It's all about connection, and for me, music and rhythmical music is the most powerful form of communication. You can have very simple conversations, but when you turn simple conversations into a group dialogue, listen to the music then.